Hey, what's going on? It's Craig Ben, aka Cash Cake, back for another NBA Prize Picks video. If you want to check out my early video where I dropped 4 picks, I will link it at the end of this video. But I got 5 for you now that they've produced the full card, and a couple I really like that I think are extremely low numbers. So we'll talk about them and give you my analysis on them. Feeling much better again. I appreciate all the support there while I was out the last couple days. But again, back at it. If you like these videos, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and let's just jump right in this thing. All right, like always, I have the Prizepicks desktop version up here, and we'll go over 5 picks. And again, if you're new to Prizepicks, I give out 4 or 5 picks on each one of these. I do not recommend playing 4 and 5 man power plays at all. I give out these plays, and I highly recommend mixing and matching the 2 and 3 man power plays, and I prefer the 2 man power plays. So if I give out 5, maybe mix and match them, and long term you'll win more money that way. I guarantee it. So it's no different than sports betting when you have massive 5-6 game team parlays. To me, it's just way better since we can't single place these over at Prizepicks. So just do the 2-man power plays. I can't stress that enough. So again, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, head on over to prizepicks.com. Use that promo code DFSArmy and get 100% instant deposit match up to $100. The link is the description below. All right, now that I'm starting to get my voice back a little bit, I'm still a little raspy, but feel much better. Let's just dive into this a little bit. First one we have is just way too low for me when I was looking at this. It's Tyrese Haliburton, over 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, he got traded over from the Sacramento Kings. He's only played these last 2 games with Indy, right? So played Minnesota and Cleveland, both with Indy here. Now, he's playing Milwaukee, right? And the Milwaukee's favored by 12.5. It's a 234 over under. Giannis didn't play last night. They were so they're on a back-to-back here. But I still like this number a lot here. We already have injury news on Indy where Isaiah Jackson is out, Chris Duarte's out, which is big, I think. Miles Turner's out, and Brogdon is questionable. If he sits, this number, absolutely love it. So over 27.5 here. Again, he's went over this mark in the 2 games that he has been with Indy, and playing big minutes too. I mean, he's playing in those 2 games he's moved over to Indy. He's played 41 and 40 minutes. So he's doing a little bit of everything. Shots are up there, 14 and 15 those 2 games. He's put up 22 and 23 real-life points in those 2 games as well, with 5 and 3 rebounds and 16 assists against Minnesota and 6 against Cleveland. So this number, to me, is almost 5-6 points way too low. So this is one of the building blocks I would use, building things around. It just, I think a lot of it has to do with, going up against Milwaukee, and you could still see a blowout, I guess. Anytime you're going up against Milwaukee, they're a great team. But I just feel like, it's too low, right? It's too low. Looking at, Milwaukee, they give up 20. They're 22nd in the NBA in assists allowed, 16th in points allowed, 20th in rebounds allowed. So right in the middle of the pack there, but just way too low of a number, and I think you should jump on this. The next one we're going to look at, we're going to go over to points, and we're going to go right here at Jarrett Allen over 13.5 points. Now he's going up against Atlanta here. They're 22nd in the league in points allowed, 25th in the league in field goal percentage. A lot of the stuff he gets done right at the rim, right? That's just basically what he does. He's going up against Clint Capella. He's put up 16 he put up 21 real-life points against Atlanta back on December 31st in 38 minutes. So, yes, we always seem to have some consideration with him and Mobley, but 13.5 feels a little low. I think this line should be closer to 15.5 to 16 points. Juice is on the over, too, out there to like around minus 125, minus 130. He's averaged 18.8 real life points over his last 5. So I just feel like this is a little too low. It's a 220.5 over under. Cleveland favored by 2. I think Jarrett Allen gets it done. Even with LeVert coming over, I think there's a few of these we can take advantage of. I think he's more just a complementary piece to what they have. And so Jarrett Allen over 13.5 points. I like this one. The next one we're going to go to is actually his teammate here. We're going to go Darius Garland over 19.5 points. Now, with LeVert coming over, I was kind of wondering how his usage would turn out a little bit. But, man, he's still putting the rock up. Against Philly, put up 23 shots and put up 27 real-life points here. So I don't think it's going to stop. I think, again, LeVert's going to put up his shots. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's, a complimentary piece here. Going up against Atlanta is, again, 22nd in points allowed, 25th in three-pointers allowed. So I still think he can get it done here. And, again, should see massive minutes, right? He's averaging 35.5 minutes over his last 10. And if his shots are going to be anywhere close to or his last three games, 23, 15, 18, still have no problem going back there. At all. And again, he has no problem shooting threes, 6, 3, and 10 over his last three as well. So I like this. I feel like it's a little bit too shy. This should be closer to like 22.5 in my opinion. So I think there's a little bit of meat left on the bone here. So we're going to lean this over 19.5 for Darius Garland. And then the other two picks we're going to go here, we're actually going to go back to Indy here, right? And the first one we're going to look at, again, this is a lot of injury consideration, and I think this one's going to play regardless. And it's Oshae Brissett, over 12.5 points. We're going to go the over on this one as well. Again, we don't have any Miles Turner here, no Isaiah Jackson. He should play kind of regardless of what's going on. And 12.5 points, it's not a lot. Like if you look at the last two games, he's played 37 and 38 minutes. And the production is there, 18 and 12 shots. And the three-pointers, right? You beat Milwaukee at the three-point line, and he shot 6 and 8 three-pointers. So it's not like he gets it done just at the rim. So, having a guy that shoots threes, which is how you beat Milwaukee, 12.5 points when they're going to have to play. And I think, like I said, I think he's going to play regardless with Turner and Jackson, both hurt and both out. I think we should see some Brissett, and it just feels way too low. I think this number should be closer to 15.5. And again, there's just some meat left on the bone there. So we're going to take the over on this. And then the last one we're going to look at again is in the same game. And I was kind of going back and forth through this because I didn't know exactly the way I wanted to lean this because I think it could go multiple ways. But again, if Malcolm Brogdon is out, Buddy Hield's going to have to do a lot here. So Buddy Hield over 16.5 points. Now, I understand, he's so shot dependent, right? He's played 2 games with Indy. Now he's putting up shots. That's the thing. 13 and 10 threes over his last 2 games. Shot horribly, horribly against Minnesota. He shot 1 for 13th, right? So he's going to shoot the 3. Now, again, that's how you beat Milwaukee, like I just talked about Brissett. The minutes have been there the last 2 games with Indy as well. He's played 40 minutes in the 2 games that he played with with Indy. So the minutes are there for him. And the rebounds are up too. So that was where I was like torn. Do I want to go over 16.5 points, or do we want to feel like, well, do we want to sit at points, rebounds, and assists 23.5? And part of me was kind of leaning this a little bit as well. Again, those 2 games, he missed it by 1 against Minnesota, but again, he shot so bad, and he's took 19 and 17 shots those 2 games. But he crushed it against Cleveland, where he had 8 assists, 9 rebounds, and 16 points in that game. Minnesota, he had 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist, but again, shot 31% from the field and abysmal 8% from three-point range. So the minutes are there. Everything's pointing towards him. It's kind of what you feel more comfortable with here. I kind of feel like the shots are going to be there, and if he's going to get to this mark, 23.5, he probably gets there in points. But I'm okay with either one of them. I think you want to pick one of them here, just with the minutes he's going to play, as long as the game stays relatively close. And if his shot's going, Buddy Hield can put a 50 spot up in 40 minutes. He has that in him. So, again, one of those things. I'm going to lean the points here, but again, the 23.5 points, rebound, assist, I like that as well. I think Buddy Hield can easily put up 20 points if his shot starts falling in, so that just feels a little low. So these are the picks that we're going to go with on this main video. Again, I will link the early video after this. But we got Tyrese Haliburton over 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Jarrett Allen over 13.5 points. Darius Garland over 19.5 points. Oshae Brissett over 12.5 points. And Buddy Hield over 16.5 points. Or if you want to go over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Again, I would mix and match these in 2 to 3 man power plays. I wouldn't try to play all 5 of them at once. If you want to, play it at a smaller denomination, right? If you're playing $100 per power play these more like $20 if you're playing all 5. I mean, that's, kind of the simple thing when you're doing sports betting as well. So again, with that, appreciate each and every one of you listening to this and taking your time out. Hopefully this helps your research process and your picks, and hopefully we can win some money tonight. So with that, I will see you on the flip side. Deuces.